State representative for Virginia and West Virginia, the Service Design Association, which has close to 4,000 members worldwide. So we divide down into smaller units to make it more manageable and to get together. So I propose this exhibit to the program committee here at Riverviews, and I'm very happy to say that this is a fiber-friendly organization and was open to having a fiber show here. And I hope that you see the diversity of the types of work that are done by the members of our association. It's anything that is fiber-based, as in technique, or as in material. So you can see a wide range of scale in this exhibit and also a wide range of medium. And I asked Kristin, who is an adjunct professor at Lynchburg College, to curate the show of the work that was submitted by our members.
Welcome and thank you very much for coming. It's very exciting for me to have this show and to put this work together. I was very pleased at the quality and diversity of the work from which I got to select. And I wanted to just, also I want to thank the staff at Riverviews for the wonderful job that they have done in hanging the show and making the space available. And I wanted to spend just a minute to talk about some of my criteria in selecting this work. If you read, I have a statement on the wall, and you will see from the statement that my background is in working with paper. And so it was very interesting for me, after 40 years of making art on paper, to be in a position to look at the work. I mean, I've seen many fiber artists work, but to be in the position to select work and to really have a chance to reiterate that what makes good art is consistent regardless of the media that's being used. And some of my criteria specifically were compelling imagery. And as an artist who has worked with natural subject matter, particularly a lot of plant forms, I understand the danger in cliche, and so I'm always interested in those subjects, but in a way that is fresh and original. I'm also very interested in scale. I will confess to that particular prejudice. And so I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, spending a lot of time in museums. When you go to a museum, you see big work. And so I like the idea of people who have something to say and have the ability to say it in a way that's very accessible. Now that said, there are wonderful intimate pieces here that of course compel you to move very close to them and really have a wonderful relationship as well. I will also confess to a real prejudice to certain colors. And so that was very compelling for me while I was making my selections. Blue is a color, particularly, this was one of the first pieces that we selected. And so I have a very great fondness for this color, if that has any great significance. It certainly does to me, and I'm not sure that I can tell you exactly why. Another thing that's very interesting to me is narrative. I believe very strongly that every image tells a story. And I want to be able to see the threads of that narrative when I look at work. And ideally, the threads are there, but I am asked by the artist to tell the whole story, or to fill in what my story would be with that narrative. Another thing that's very interesting to me about this work is the quality and diversity of the texture. Again, working primarily with paper, it's a different experience than the range of choices that fiber artists have with their work. So if there are many pieces that I am especially glad to see. One of the things that's a challenge about being a curator is that you're looking at the work on a computer screen. And it's never exactly, it's just not the same as looking at the work. And the biggest challenge, even when you have information about the size, like it's 24 inches by 48 inches, that doesn't really compute when every image you see is exactly the same size. So there were a few surprises when I saw the work when it was hung, because some things I assumed were larger than they are in reality, and some are smaller. That doesn't really take away from appreciating the work, but it is one of the challenges of making the decisions when you can't actually see the work itself. But of course, from the artist's point of view, I mean, just logistically, it has to be done that way. So some of the pieces that are the ones that I think are especially important and meaningful to me, I think also relate to my eye to the idea of how important narrative is. And one of those pieces is Jill Jensen's piece back here on the wall, and I certainly hope you have a chance to look at it. Very, very compelling narrative. Another piece that for me has very strong narrative elements is this particular piece right here. And this is Kristin.
The flaw.
Yes, right. Very beautiful. Very intricate, but at the same time very simple. I've had a chance to talk to some of the artists. If I haven't had a chance to talk to you, please come up. I would very much like to look at your work with you, and thank you so much for coming. If anyone has any questions, I'm very happy to answer your questions, and I really hope that I have a chance to talk to all of the artists that are here. Thank you so much for coming.